Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebookians. Airy Sky here with a quick video for you. The first one was about loose games versus complete. Now I want to talk to you about some other stuff. When starting out, I highly recommend you go with loose. And remember to make sure you get good quality game cartridges that aren't grungy and icky looking. You'll be a lot happier you did. And if you don't like a certain game series, well, then you don't have to buy any more of it. But that's your opinion. However, when it comes to pricing, there's where you're going to be really wondering what's going on. I've been watching the pricing market for games for years, and I consider myself somewhat of an expert. Now, you got to settle down, and you got to look over pricing from various websites. If you know a place that will sell games and you're like, yes, I want these games, and he's like, well, I can't get it, then you got to go someplace like Amazon or eBay or etc. But remember, some people might not even think about buying certain items. Now, you could say, oh, well, how come this game system was so expensive now but not back then? Because it's called supply and demand. For example, older gamers will pay it because A, they might want to add it to their collection, or B, they might be looking for something, say, a original Game Boy that they can have on hand to play their games. Now, let's just say you get a hold of a DS Lite that plays the Game Boy games, then you're set. But the original Game Boy, for example, will be a lot higher because of supply and demand. Now, you're saying, oh, well, what about game pricing? Game pricing is, again, it fluctuates. Now, let me tell you, I've seen games brand new in the box, mint. People are like, oh, they want $2,000 for it. Yes, if you go through this place, but if you go through it and you want mint, let's just say, I said sealed, not sealed, but completely mint. I remember buying games 14 years ago, mint sealed games. Really cheap. I have a few that were like $500. They're still unopened in a fireproof safe. But here's the kicker. Now you look for them, and they say they're not worth that much. I've had people say, oh, well, I know I can sell my Secret of Mana unopened for $6,000. Well, when you find the right buyer, that will happen, but good luck. Now, you're thinking, what goes on pricing? Well, it goes like this. You got to base it on quality, too. I mean, without a manual, and it's just a game cartridge, you can get stacks and stacks and stacks of game cartridges pretty cheap if you know where you're going. Very affordable. Now, if you want complete, you're going to be paying between $50 and more for some of these games, up to hundreds of dollars. Now, if you want loose, so be it. Now, people are asking, well, what's going on? Why some people have loose and some don't? Well, loose is a term growing up. Growing up, you got to look at things. For example, some games depreciate in value. Like, I got a Zelda in here, this one, that depreciated in value. Unless I want to go peel off the label. This was a rental game. So, guess what? That one ain't worth much. I'll go and buy a game again, but I will have it that's loose, but it won't have a sticker on the back. And I can use it to run anyways in the Game Boy player. So, but you're like, oh, well, that ain't a bad deal. Well, it's not a bad deal, but it ain't a good deal either. And I'll explain why. Now, when it comes to games, you always got to make sure, that you want the complete thing so you can put it in a glass case or whatever you're paying more. But I've said that enough times as it is. The loose part is pretty inexpensive if you just want to accumulate a large game collection and you don't care about boxes. It just varies from things. You can get game cartridges as low as $2, $3. But complete, you could be paying $50 or more. Heck, I've seen Legend of Zelda for Game Boy going for between $300 and $500. That is complete. So, You do the math on collecting and etc. Now, if you just want to accumulate the biggest game collection you want and you don't care about boxes, that's fine. Now, a lot of people back then, like myself included, would get games for birthdays, games for Christmases, and we toss the box. It's like, oh, well, this is cool. It's just got some box art on the back. We'll just toss it because, you know, kids are that way. And then they just go back to, what do you call it? They go back to not even thinking about these things. And then look what happens, you know? So, all in all, you just got to ask yourself, you know, back then, we kids made some pretty stupid stuff. So yeah. Anyways, you just got to ask yourself how much you're willing to pay. The other thing is for game pricing is set a limit. Say, oh, you want the entire collection of the MLB series up to now, for example. My assistant Aaron's playing MLB, but let's just say you do that. And you're earmarking $300 for all systems. PS2, PS3, and PSP Vita, for example, right? So you earmark $300, and if you go over and you can't do it, then you got to earmark more the next month. Just always stick with a budget when it comes to with your games, and you should be quite fine, you know. Also, when it comes to older games, not on CD, but cartridges, especially cartridges, always make sure you know where to go to find a repair person or try to change the batteries yourself. Mostly, you know, it should be simple. So I've made connections where I can get the batteries changed out, no problem. So also, always look for other things too, you know, if you have to. But I'll talk about that in my next video. But yeah, the main thing is plan a budget. Always know what you're looking for, and always work from, in my opinion, loose to complete. And if you don't care about being complete, well, don't. Most of the people like to have complete so they can say, oh, well, it's worth some money. Or they could say, oh, well, I just want the box again because it's a childhood memory thing. So, with that said, please add and subscribe if you like. Please post comments in the box if you like. And please add me as a friend if you like. Thank you and have a nice day.